Actually, I'll just remind everyone what A levels I do, and that is politics, philosophy, and history.
Mm.
And I think in the first week, I've come to learn that it's a lot of reading, which is what I was expecting. Um, but A levels are heavy in terms of just looking at the specification of what I need to learn and how much depth you need, and how much depth you need to learn certain things, the subjects in. I think it's a completely different level to GCSEs. And I feel as if going forward, you just need to be on top of it. I feel like falling behind, though it may happen, is something that you really can't afford to happen like it was for GCSEs. What do you think, Dylan?
So yeah, I'm doing philosophy, geography, politics, drama, and the first thing I've probably noticed is the ownership that you have to take on your own work is just it's astoundingly difficult compared to GCSEs. For example, in GCSEs, like you could not do a piece of homework or you could not take some notes down. And realistically, you'd be fine because you look at a physics and maths tutor, you look at Save My Exams, you look at your textbook,
Mm,
boom, you've got the notes.
yeah.
A level, you don't do complete a homework or you don't catch up on the notes, that's essentially one subtopic missed. Like for example, in geography, the first lesson that we had, we literally covered a topic that in GCSE took us 2 weeks to cover.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference. So to miss all of that, that's really important that you stay on top of it. And I think one thing that I'm grateful over the subjects that I've chosen is all of the teachers have been really helpful in setting out a structure in terms of how
Mm,
best it is to work for me. So, for example, I've had one-to-ones with basically all of my teachers, and I've just been asking them like, "This is how best I work. So, how does this fit in with you? How can we make sure that this is a really good like relationship that we build over the next 2 years?" And I've just been doing this like, for example, on induction day, I just spoke to most of my boys' school teachers, and I have some other teachers as well. So, those teachers I just spoke to in our first lessons after the lesson finished. And I was just like,
yeah.
look, this is how I work. And I think it's a pretty easy way of fitting in. It's just I'll need help in certain areas if I fall behind. Would you be able to do that for me? And they're like, yeah, fine. It's perfect. So I think taking that ownership and being proactive about how you learn is really important to surviving, not even surviving, just thriving in these.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that proactiveness is definitely needed, and I think even going forward, if you know, like what our teachers have actually advised us to do, they said next week we're going to be looking at democracy in politics,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
We
so
just started that.
they're like, your homework is to do your own research on democracy before we actually teach you anything. So actually going into the lesson, you're prepared, you have a rough idea about what's going on. And in the lesson, you just expand on already knowledge of what democracy is, with like
Mm.
direct democracy, representative democracy,
Yeah.
and yeah, just different things like that. I think
But
that's really
it
important.